Hey, oops, what happened? Oh, there we go. Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm a little late. Sure, nobody's here yet anyway. Let's see. Sorry, got a little tripped up looking at some of the stats and stuff here, trying to get the stream working. The internet can totally see me now. Elapsed time? That's weird. Why is that counting down? Very strange. I don't get it. Is this like pre-time? Whatever. Anyways, that's that. Yeah. Oh, hi. High five. Walter, my Payton poster here. Sweetness. So I thought as an interesting little experiment, maybe I would go through and look at some of the files of how this thing got built up. There are a ton of files here. I'm going to go by date. This was 2012 that I made this. So, hey, maybe I'll just start and I'll walk through some. I'll do that. I'll just walk through. First, I could go look at some reference, I guess. So, I looked at some reference for stiff arms. That is the hand that I ended up using. I just shot my own reference. Then let's see. Yeah, I was considering doing some other kind of like stadium work inside. I was probably looking at stairs too here, and like how these stairs are kind of set up. Just more stiff arms. There's Bear Stadium because I thought I was maybe going to do something with that back there. And I wasn't sure how to kind of work in all of these things, which elements from Stadium. I was clearly looking at like ramps and stairs on some of these things. And then I think this is what, I didn't use it as a direct reference, but I did kind of get the idea of that sort of half-step thing from here, I think. So I ended up just kind of making it half, because I think that's also there at Soldier Field. I feel like they have that there. You see that at a lot of stadiums, though, that kind of idea. I ain't blown up, wow. Okay, so then here's some of the Walter. I didn't use this exactly. I think I composited a few different things together. And there's another folder of some Packer fans. So this is kind of where I got that guy, I think. You can kind of see. Okay. I'm giving away my secrets here. Okay, then I wanted to work her in. I didn't really know how. Because everybody's facing back, you know, the back. Well, except for that guy. So I had to figure out how to kind of make those work. That's that guy right there. Kind of rotate it a little bit. Give him a different jersey. And let's see. There's my other peeps. So we got that guy. I just thought something classic classic Wisconsin Packer fan. I don't know. Why is that so Wisconsin? That dude just not saying anything bad about Wisconsin at all. Just talking with my wife about how that would be a good place to move me. But there is something about the style that is... and that's actually my cheese head up there too. Boots and everything. So then I think I did them first, and then I decided, oh, I could kind of tie this all together with that, because I had to keep in mind that I only had these colors to work with. 6 colors. So I got the blue, orange. None of those are going to be usable here except for like the darks. Then I needed a peach color and brown, so people either have brown boots or green or blue. I mean, I had to make it all out of that and white. So, let's see. Is there anybody else in here? I don't think so. I think that's all the reference. So we could start looking at, well, here's some of the final, the print. That's how it ended up looking. I think the first run I laid them all out just to make sure. My buddy wanted me to sign them. I wasn't really into it. It's also getting used to rolling them up, doing some shipping of them. It was around Christmas and they were going out like crazy. I was sending out maybe 10 a day, if not more. Okay, so let's check out some of these layouts. I'm going to step through and I'm going to ignore all the references though. So here's kind of where I started to do some of the line work on the face. Kind of did some tracing, figured out my initial shapes. You see a lot of it's overlapping. I was kind of figuring out this process. I don't do a lot of illustration like this, so I kind of had to figure it out as I was going along. So then I just I think I started filling in some color. I'm like, you know what? Now that I got this is an all digital thing, would maybe, if I did it all digitally, I would maybe do more of a style like this. A little bit more defined. But because I was screen printing, I knew that wasn't going to work out. Then I started kind of building in some of these stairs elements. Everything's on layers. I don't know if you're not familiar with Illustrator, you can turn off certain things. So like that's just the arm. And then hand shadows, that's a separate layer altogether. So if you just look at that, see that? Same thing with the face. And the back arm, head and neck. So that's it without the lines. So it just layered up like that. Steve Harvey says no. I gotta take a picture of this for my buddy. Let's see, close. See, I could get rid of the stiff arm clothing and the number and lines there. Steve Harvey says no. Do not say this, no. Okay. Then I started blocking in the characters. Look, I originally thought I was going to have more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think what happened was that I realized that I was never going to be able to make all of their clothing interesting enough with just the 6 colors to have that many people. I mean, I probably could have, but I figured I'd be better off by limiting them and making them really good. What's next? Okay, those are pretty similar. Let's step through. Okay. Okay, so here's like a lot more blocked in. And what did he... So this fat guy was originally considering making him shirtless and sweaty and hairy. But I was going to have a tough time pulling that off. With maybe if I used the brown, I think it might have been weird. So, I mean, it just kind of doesn't work as well, so. Alright, so, well, that's not what I wanted to open. I mean, you could see that. I'm still working on, I need to work on Hawk Jerry. That's for another video, though. That's young Hawk Jerry. I need to make him more recognizable. Touch of gray Jerry, as someone said. That's a good one to make. Okay, let's see, where are we at? You know what, we're getting close to press prep. That's what I called press prep. I don't know why I called it that. Colors redux. Okay, so here's where I started to reduce the colors for the screen print. I made the halftone pattern in a separate file. I had worked out this stadium stuff and started to limit. The people are kind of cut down now, you can see. Don't have the white border on it yet, though. And, you know, this hasn't been print produced and prepped. You know, this is just a digital file that, like, looks good on the screen, but if I sent this to the printer, they would probably wouldn't even accept it, but if they just printed it, it would not work out right at all. So what I had to do is all of these, can you see all of these files here? This is all me working on the trapping in print production aspect, where I had to make sure that every layer was the same. So I had to break it down by color now. So here I had the peach layer. Then I put down the orange layer. Then there's the gold layer. then the brown, and then the green, and then the blue on top of that. So if I isolate each one of those, that's just the green. And I picked out Pantone colors for those so that they knew what to use. And then that's what each screen was made up of, one of these. But then, you know, that's not how I designed this. It wasn't designed by color. So that means I had to, at some point, grab everything from one layer, pull it into a new layer, which wasn't totally all that tricky, but then you had to take all of this and add trapping to it, which is adding a little stroke to compensate for potential gaps in the ink or slight minor misalignments in the screens after they go down. If you have them just perfectly laid out and it's slightly off, you're going to have like white little outlines, or in this case white because I use white paper, but you know, whatever substrate you have, it'll show through underneath. So you have to add, what did I add here? I mean, in different parts it was different amounts. I think maybe 1 point all around. I think I added 1 point strokes to everything. But you only had to do it on parts where it overlapped with another color. So the tricky part was on certain things around here, like on the green and on this orange, I didn't need it everywhere, so I had to find out where it was going to overlap with that. And in some places I didn't want that extra, because if it was just on the white, then you'd see this extra stroke. You'd see that extra. And so you only wanted that where it was going to be underneath another color, where it was going to butt up against a darker color, or a color that would be put on later. So this is the first, the orange is the second color that I put down. So this needed trapping, but the blue did not, because there's nothing above the blue. So the blue just went right on top and didn't need any of that trapping or extra stroke to fill in the gaps, because there are no gaps to fill in underneath. Okay, does that make sense? A little lesson in print production. You can see how much it changed though when I picked those colors out. And I knew it was going on a matte paper. I kind of wanted it to be not faded, but like kind of matte and sort of slightly desaturated like that. I kind of liked that look for a screen print. So then let's see. I think that's, you know, that's ultimately what I ended up sending to the printer. That was the press prep, and I had to do many of those. There was some back and forth where I wasn't quite figuring that out and getting it right. So I would send something and they would say, okay, try this instead. And so it took a lot of time, a lot of unexpected time. It was like 3 extra days of work probably. I didn't even account for it really. But yeah, the output was just so cool. I was so happy with how, here's that's an old one, that's, and so yeah, now so now I have stuff up on my Redbubble page, and you can get this stuff here, and you can get it as different types of t-shirts and stuff. You can get it as cases and skins for your devices. You can get it as a poster or a canvas print. You can get home decor goods like Sweetness Says No throw pillow. Some of this is just comical. I feel like it's like Spaceballs. Spaceballs the lunchbox. Sweetness Says No the travel mug. Some of these are kind of cool though, actually. I think that it works really well as a tote bag. I mean, is that awesome? Bring that to the game with you, right? You get a small one, you get a larger one. It's not a bad price, really. Where are you going to get a tote bag for $16, especially one that's custom printed? The clock is kind of cool, too. Got a couple other little things. I'm making some other bears designs if you're into stuff like that. Just kind of a simple text sort of thing, but I think this stuff looks cool when it's kind of simple. So yeah, check me out on Redbubble, Crap Art, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and I guess I'll catch you next time.